Hey, just wanted to share some words of wisdom while walking here on the boardwalk of Deerfield Beach. So they got the beach shut down, no parking on the beach, no going over into the beach area, but the boardwalk is open. And I had to get my daily walk / beach fix in, since that's part of my routine. But felt like sharing some insights. What's happening in my mind? What's happening in my brain as all of this unfolds? And let me first clarify, the cool part about this experience, this co-creative experience that we're all in, is there are 7.5 billion to 8 billion people here on this planet at this moment. And each of us have a different way of thinking, a different way of experiencing everything. So a situation happens, and if there's 3 people that are there to witness that situation happen, there will be 3 different perspectives. So there's 7.5 to 8 billion different perspectives as to what's going on. And I'll just share what's going in and on in my mind. And here's why. Like, what does that even matter? Well, after being born to teenagers and raised around 4 divorces and 6 marriages as a child, going to 9 different schools by 8th grade, and having a lot of chaos in that environment of being raised, there were a lot of pros and a lot of cons. And some of the pros that were from that was I got to see how a situation can occur, and being plugged into numerous different families, I could see how the same thing, for instance, a simple thing as a glass of milk being knocked over by a child, and how some people flip out and there's breaking and yelling and whoopings that occur, and other people are like, oh, okay, let me just get a paper towel and wipe that up and continue on. So I got to witness a situation occurs, and not everybody acts, not everybody responds, not everybody reacts in the same manner. We can take a look and observe a situation, and instead of going one path, we can choose another. So that leads to my military endeavors. But prior to getting to there, as a child living up around and growing up around all that chaos, all that adversity, I was also able to witness a couple things. One, while growing up, I thought everybody was having the same experience I was having. You ever notice that? When you were young, you thought everybody had the life that you had. Everybody had the same issues, the same worries, the same concerns, the same conversations, the same routines. But then what happens as we grow older, we start going over to other people's houses and friends' houses and things of that nature, and we find out, wow, they aren't the same. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of differences there. There's some similarities, but there's a lot of differences as well. So that goes into my circumstances with all that chaos, with all that uncertainty. I realized people that had more of a stable environment, the same parents, the same school, the different types of worries and concerns, not having as much monetary concerns. When situations would arise in high school or college that would have those people who had a not as uncertain childhood would be flipping out and bugging out, and I'm calm, cool, and collected, because to me it's nothing. It's not a big deal, right? So if you had a lot of adversity in your life, and chances are, regardless of what your background is, you are able to tap into all those lessons from those experiences to help you handle the adversities that you're dealing with now and moving forward. So that said, I was able to be the calm amongst the storm to help people who are panicking, to help people who are freaking out, to really just boil it back and say, hey, look, here's where we are, here's where we want to go, what do we got to do to get there? And really just focusing back on what actions can I take. And later on, I found out these are psychological principles that help highly successful people achieve great results. It is not letting the problems and the difficulties and the challenges stifle you and have you curl up in a ball not doing anything. That you as a high performer, you as someone who recognizes there are things within your control, there are things without your control, bringing it back to, okay, here's the situation. It's not what I anticipated, wanted, or desired, but it is what it is. Knowing this and knowing where I am and where I'm wanting to go, what steps can I take? Right? So in doing that, I was able to become a national bicycle freestyle champion as a teenager. I was able to become a top wrestler, right? So I wrestled and won way more than I lost. I was able to get into the business world and excel, get promoted and rise through the ranks because of the all-in mentality that I brought to the thing. When I was in my first job, I was cleaning toilets and pretty much a janitorial role. And if I'm going to do something, I want to do it to the best of my ability. And when I brought that commitment and that dedication, I quickly rose through the ranks and became a leader and became someone who was appreciated. And then that led to numerous jobs where I climbed the ladder in a very quick manner. And then I went into the military, the Marine Corps, and ended up being the #1 honor graduate out of boot camp in the Marine Corps. So Parris Island, South Carolina, Kilo Company, Platoon 3028. We graduated April 2nd, 1993. I was the guide and the honor man. And as the guide of a 3-month journey, I was about halfway through that 3-month journey, selected as the guide, and led our platoon to win the drill, to win the rifle range high score, to win the physical fitness test high score, to come together as a unit, as a platoon, amidst our differences, amidst our disagreements, to say, look, this is our task at hand. When we pull together, we're more apt to succeed at it than not. So I was able to pull people together through the leadership and through the inspiration and other conversations I had with them to rally everyone together and do the best that they were capable of doing. Basically, leaving it all on the field, right? And that's like a sports analogy. If you give your all, and you as yourself and your team give your all, whether or not you're victorious, you gave your all. Now, the counter to that is if you went out there and on the field of battle or on the field of competitiveness, and you and your team didn't give your all, and at the end you don't win, and now it's like, well, of course we didn't win, we didn't give our all. So in this game of life, it really is about saying, and a couple lessons that I'll share with you here shortly that can help you get to this point, I'm just going to give my all. I'm just going to do my best in this particular moment, gain clarity on where I am and where I'm looking to go, and break it down to the next step as to what is mine to do. And clarity is a great place to start. There's a quote that says, lack of clarity is the root of all failure. And so right now, in these times which no one could have predicted a week ago, and with the uncertainty that's brought about in the economic world and in each of our individual lives, we have to circle back to that first step of gaining clarity. Where am I personally and professionally? Where am I in my health? Where am I in my relationships? Where am I in my finances? And where would I like to be? And with that clarity, we can understand point A and point B. And if we think to some simple things that we use on a daily basis of today, the Uber and Lyft and all those types of things, they need to know two things. Where are you and where do you want to go? And if we narrow that back to life, we can ask ourselves that specifically for those 3 areas: health, relationships, finances, and any other area. Where am I and where do I want to go? All right, let me check here. I got something. 10:45 p.m., but have a great day. All right, David, good to see you, man. Great seeing you. And hey, I'm walking into the wind right now, so hopefully my hand is blocking that at this moment, but give me like a 1 or give me a yes if you can hear me still with the wind blowing. Can you still hear me fine? It's coming in pretty hefty off of the water there. All right, so I will continue. John Helpin, what's up, man? Hey, around the corner from you over here in Deerfield Beach. So circling back to step number 1 is gaining clarity. Where are you and where do you want to be? Cool. John can hear me. Good. Yes, sir. David. All right, good. You can hear me. Awesome. So it begins with clarity. Think of life like Uber. Here's where I am, here's where I want to go. And at the same time, with some other things that we use today now, like Uber Eats and Grubhub and things of that nature, this is something I learned from Forbes Riley on the Marketer's Cruise. And she basically says, life gives us exactly what we ask for. So when we're clear on where we are and where we want to go, similar to how we would call or use the app of Grubhub or Uber Eats, we specifically tell them, here's exactly what I want. And they bring it to us. So with that clarity comes your understanding of exactly what you want for your health, for your relationships, for your finances. And with that clarity allows you to real quickly construct a plan. And there's another quote that says, if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. So yes, you want to have a plan. However, it doesn't have to be intricate. It doesn't have to be over thought out. It doesn't have to be something that takes hours or days or weeks. It's a plan. If you go back to the militaristic training that I had in the United States Marine Corps, hey, I want to get there, and here's where I am. So the best steps that I see available to me right now are continue on this path. When I get up to that point, I can turn right and get there. And I'm going to go that path. And if there's an obstacle that hits me and allows me to not go in the plan that I just thought would work, I then use the 3 words that the Marine Corps taught me: improvise, adapt, and overcome. So real simply, how to plan is you do this. You stop, you think, and you act. Those 3 words. Stop, think, act. That's the plan. And then take the step. The act is taking the first step. There's a quote from one of my heroes, Zig Ziglar. I was fortunate to meet before he passed away and share my respect and appreciation for his words changing the trajectory of my life and his strategies. Zig says 100% of the time, the person that doesn't take the first step won't take the second step. You can't take the second step unless you take the first step. So you have to stop, think, and act. And roughly that speed. You don't have to say stop, think for days, weeks, months, and then maybe act. No, it's stop, think, and act. Imperfect action always beats perfect inaction. So remember that. You don't have to get it right, you just have to get it going. There's a quote I learned a long time ago that's in the same vein of that. A lot of people overthink, a lot of people over-worry, a lot of people let fear and other people's opinions and other people's judgments stop them from taking action, and or the fear of, well, what if I take that and it doesn't work? Well, guess what? Most of the time, you have to put some action in place to realize most plans don't work. I mean, myself and anyone else who's ever reached any level of success, you included, have failed way more times than you succeeded. On a general scale of life, that's just how it works. You fail. You continually iterate and find out the lessons that you can gain from those plans that didn't work out to plan, and you continually improvise, adapt, and overcome, and you have the persistence and the dedication and the commitment to do it as long as is necessary until you get it. How long are you going to do it? Well, as long as I'm breathing, right? Let's see what we got here. Joel, love the alliteration. Yes, absolutely, Joel. I'm glad you noticed that. Think and Grow Rich, silly name. Should have been Think, Take Action, and Grow Rich. Yes. Joel Ramandaban, Joel, Christopher, what's up, man? Max, what's up, buddy? Hey, good things. So my hope in sharing this with all of you is to not let fear or worry or concern stifle you. Guess what? Every single one of us have had plans that don't go to plan, have had surprises that put us into that thinking mode of like, oh crap, I gave it a go, I gave it my all and it didn't work. That's called life, right? We have to just say, okay, that didn't work, but did we give up when we couldn't walk from the first attempt? No, we were, as a child, fortunately didn't care what other people thought, didn't think, well, what happens if I fall again? Are they going to laugh at me? Are they going to, no, people are encouraging you. People want you to walk. So as a child, fortunately, we didn't have that inner talk of giving a crap about what anyone thought. We were going to do it and fail as many times as necessary until we figured out how to walk. And same thing for talking, and same thing for tying shoes, and same thing for everything that we now take for granted. As a child, we had the relentlessness, we had the dedication and the commitment to do whatever it takes for as long as it takes until we get it. Then as we grow up, we let fear creep in, we let worry creep in, we let wondering what other people will think creep in. And here's the reality of what other people think. They're too busy worried on their own stuff. They don't give a crap about what you're up to. And in this day and age of social media, yeah, you have some keyboard bullies and you have crap like that occurring, but you have to block that out and go forward and have that childlike determination and commitment to do whatever it takes for as long as it takes until you reach the goal of here's where I am, here's where I'm going, and one step at a time, I'm going to get there. And that's up to you to just gain that clarity, get rid of the internal talk and the external circumstances that could prevent you to get into or put you into procrastination or put you into perfection mode. Well, guess what? When's the best time? Now. I mean, the old saying of when's the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago. When's the second best time? Today. So, yeah, would it have been nice had you been in a situation to prepare and take advantage of this particular situation, which, you're going to be able to get certain companies and investments at rock bottom, pennies on the dollar price? Sure, 20 years ago. The next best time is right here, right now, today. So stop, think, act, take the action. There's Wanda. Say hi to Wanda. She's sitting out while I do my video here. And take one step at a time. Stop, think, act with that clarity of knowing here's where I am, here's where I want to go. And then saying the 4 questions that I boil back any worthwhile goal really comes down to you answering these 4 questions. If it's true that I'm here and want to get there, I need to know the answer to these 4 questions. What do I need to start doing? Pretty self-explanatory. I'm not doing this, but if health is on my agenda of being healthier and I'm not taking the proper steps, what are the steps that I need to start doing, which I'm currently not doing? So you need to know that. Now, there's more intricacies to that. It's not adding 10 more things to your list that you're not doing and now you need to start doing. It's narrowing it down to the one thing you're currently not doing that has the potential to 10x your results. And so for some people in the health analogy, that's to eat more properly / healthy with less portions. For other people, it's to go from not moving to moving, whatever that looks like for you individually, to take better care of yourself. Cut out certain foods or liquids that you're putting into your body that you know aren't leading to your optimal health. So the first question is, you need to know the answer to is, what do you need to start doing? Second question is, what do you need to do more of? And that's narrowing it down to the 3 to 4 key activities that are the big needle movers. The 20-80 Pareto principle, right? 20% of your activities are producing 80% of your results. What are those key 3 to 4 activities that are the main needle movers for that particular goal that you have? Narrow those down and figure out what those are and put them on your calendar along with the activity you need to start doing. Put that on your calendar. So the first question you need to know the answer to is, what do I need to start doing? You narrow it down to that one thing that you're not doing that you know can 10x or has a potential to 10x your results in that area. Second question is, what do I need to do more of? Find out what the 3 to 4 key activities are, those 20% activities that produce the 80% results. Put those on your calendar and do them. And then the third question is, what do I need to do less of? These are the 80% of activities that only give you 20% of the results. These are the time wasters. These are the activities that, if you're serious about getting from where you are to where you want to be, have no business of getting your time, attention, or energy. So that takes discipline. That takes discernment of knowing these are not the best use of my time activities. So I need to do less of them. And then and the real simple answer to that is, I'll give you, man, this is gold. To find out how to gain the answer to what do I need to do more of in any area. So in business, you write that on a sheet of paper, a blank sheet of paper, you write down all of the activities you do in a given month for that particular goal. Everything. So in business, all the business activities you do. And then you say, okay, if I'm only allowed to do one of those activities, it still allows it to go and grow. What's that one? And now you've narrowed it down to your most important activity for that particular goal. Then you get the second one. What's the second one? Now you get your second most important activity. And then what's the third one? And you do that for 3 or 4 things. And those are your 3 to 4 unique abilities that are yours to do. And those are the 20% of activities that give you the 80% of results. Then the answer to what do I need to do less of is everything else on that list. All right. This is gold, by the way. This is valuable stuff. And then the fourth question you know the answer to is, what do I need to stop doing altogether? Right, and that's, once again, different for each and every one of us on this. But I will tell you this. Well, my suggestion in these days and times that we're in, with the uncertainty and with the circumstances that have changed, to go into the what do I need to do less of and what do I need to stop doing altogether, I would have you consider the activities that you do, which are unique to you, that fall into the category of escapism. What is escapism? That's pretty much just throwing away your time instead of investing your time. So that is, for some people, porn. For some people, alcohol. For some people, drugs. For some people, YouTube. For some people, whatever. It's a million different possibilities in today's day and age. Swiping on dating apps, whatever the heck it is. You'd be surprised. I have some millionaire clients that they spend hours a day on whatever their vice is, versus in their business or with their family or taking care of themselves. And over time, that accumulates into ridiculous amounts of time wasted, that on our last day, which we all have, during that last breath, we're probably not going to say, man, I'm so glad I wasted all that time, instead of putting into the important areas of my life. So anything that you have categorized or you recognize are patterns of escapism for you, I would have you consider that's probably not the best time spent in these particular moments. To reinvest that time into other areas that are of a higher importance and of a higher degree of you living your life, instead of wasting it on video games, wasting it on porn or alcohol or whatever the heck it is. There's a million different things in today's day and age. So I would have you consider recognizing and observing those escapism activities aren't probably the best serving activities for you, especially in these moments. And then when you now have that time, where are you going to reinvest that? And that would go back into the categories of the first two questions. What do I need to start doing, and what do I need to do more of? Activities to really get your mind and get your words and get your actions in alignment with the goals that you claim to have. So anyhow, this is how my mind thinks. So circling back to this particular situation that a week ago none of us could have predicted as to where we are in the world and what's happening. And there's two train of thoughts. Like, there's a book that I've referenced a couple times, not in this video, but in other videos, by Dale Carnegie, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. At any point in life, my journey, your journey, life in general, there is chaos. Chaos is a part of every day. And there's sometimes when in your personal journey, chaos is a little less, and other times when it's on hyperdrive and way more. And the bottom line is, we need to take control of our mind, and regardless of the chaos that's happening in our direct surroundings, our direct environment, realize worry is not really going to get us to where we want to go. It really boils down to stop, think, act. With this new information, what's mine to do? How to stop worrying and start living gives you a couple tools that will help you put blinders on to the fear and the chaos and the concerns that may be legitimately worth recognizing, but recognize them, and with that new information, gain the clarity on what you can do that's within your locus of control, and start taking action. And real quickly, one of the things is to realize it only falls into two categories of things that you're worried about. Is there something I can do about it? Or is there nothing I can do about it? So here's the scenario. If I'm worried about something and I can do something about it, do something about it and stop worrying about it. If I'm worrying about something and there's nothing I can do about it, recognize there's nothing I can do about it, stop worrying about it, and get on with living your life. And so it's up to you to discern all of this, to realize what are you worried about? Is it something you can control? If so, control it. Don't worry about it. Is it something you can't control? If so, don't worry about it. And my stance after having a near-death experience and walking towards the bright white light and saying, stop, this isn't how it's supposed to end. I know you had more for me to accomplish. Send me back. Been helicopter lifted from the crash site and woke up with a respirator breathing for me. I had to learn to walk and talk again. I've chosen to be here for this second, choice of being here. And I know that I'm immune to death until I'm not. And I know that on that last day that none of us know, I want to have memories. I want to have a high five like experience with the people that were near me, not regrets. Not, oh man, I wish I wouldn't have let fear stifle me. I wish I didn't worry so much. I wish. I want to have memories and the high five moments of the people that were with me, like we went for it. We left it all on the field. And that's my wish for you. So my bottom line with everything is, look, it's not my time until it is my time. And when it's my time, it's my time. But in the meantime, I'm not running the streets. I'm not going out and wrestling sharks, right? I'm doing what I feel through my discernment is what's mine to do, and walking boldly and confidently in that direction with clarity, of knowing what's mine to do, doing it, thinking, speaking, and acting in accordance and in alignment with my goals and my desires. So I just wanted to share this with you on a brief little walk here in Deerfield Beach. I'm going to get back to some other important issues for today, but my hope is this is helpful to you entering, what it's like to think of someone who was the #1 honor man in the United States Marine Corps, who was meritoriously promoted 3 times in the United States Marine Corps, who had a MESEP package, Marine Enlisted Commissioning Package. They were going to pull me out of enlisted, send me to college, bring me back to OCS, come back as an officer. I decided that my time was done after 4 years, got an honorable discharge, and went on to then go down a different path of impacting thousands of lives worldwide through working with people like Mike Filsaime, through Rich Sheffrin, and through many other top experts around the world. It's been my honor and pleasure to do that, and my hope is this stuff is helpful for you and helps you gain that clarity, and also helps you get out of fear and concern and worry and get into what's mine to do. What's mine to do. So if you haven't heard or read that book, go to How to Stop Worrying and Start Living by Dale Carnegie. If you Google it, if you go to YouTube and type that in, you'll actually find the audiobook available for free on YouTube. That may be worth listening to in these moments. I have some other stuff that will be helpful. I'm going to think how I can share it with you in addition, above and beyond this, but I'm here for you. If you have any questions, if you have any concerns, if you have any, if you want to mention it publicly, type the questions in below. If you have any that you want to mention privately, send me a private message. I'm here to help. All right, you've got this. I see the best version of you. I see the quote of every adversity carries with it the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit coming true. Not just for me, not just for you, but for all that are experiencing this adversity right now. This too shall pass, and we will in due time see the major benefits that are waiting for all of us. But in this moment, I think it's time for us to all come together as humanity and help one another as we can. This is my way of giving that hand and hopefully helping you where you are recognize this too shall pass. Every adversity carries with it the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit, and your best awaits. And until tomorrow, make today great. That's my motto, and that's my wish for you. Make today great. Do it. Chat with you soon. Make today great.